Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue. I'm the black powder editor for Guns of the Old West magazine. And today we're out at the range with the McNelly Sharps. This rifle is made by the Armi Sport division of Capt Arms in Italy, and it's imported by Cimarron Firearms. And let's take a look. Cimarron's McNelly Sharps is a replica of the 1859 Sharps percussion carbine converted to fire 50-70 government cartridges. And this is called the McNelly Sharps because in 1875 a group of Texas Rangers under the command of Captain Leander McNelly was assigned to clean up the Nueces Strip in Texas. And if I'm mispronouncing Nueces, forgive me, Texans. But that strip of land was between the Nueces River and the Rio Grande River, and it was infested with bandits, Anglo bandits, Mexican bandits, had a lot of cross-border raiding going on, and it was just incredibly dangerous. So Texas authorized McNelly to raise a company of rangers. He had already done a previous rangering chore for them, and go to the Nueces Strip and take care of the bandits. And he did. McNelly was what you'd have to call a hard man. He was dying of tuberculosis, but he absolutely did the job, and taking prisoners was not his strong suit. Let me just put it that way. He pretty much had a choice of getting shot or getting hung. So when he was outfitting his ranger company, he went to Saul Lichtenstein's store in Corpus Christi, and he was buying supplies, food, beans, coffee, bacon, that sort of thing, and weapons. And he bought 36 of these Sharps carbines, as I said, chambered in 50-70. And Saul Lichtenstein really wanted to sell him lever-action rifles instead of the Sharps. And McNelly was insistent on the Sharps. And Lichtenstein's argument was, well, the Sharps might really put him down. And they're great for buffalo, but when you shoot at a buffalo and you miss, he said, you just reload and shoot at it again. He said, you shoot at an outlaw and miss, you might not get a chance to reload. And Captain Leander McNelly looked Saul Lichtenstein in the eye, and he said, I don't want men who miss. And that's the way he ran his outfit. So these guns were used in a great deal of action over on the strip as they were clearing out the bandits. So let's take it out to the range and see what it can do. Well, you're not going to see a great deal of shooting with the McNelly Sharps in this video. And the reason for that's pretty simple. I don't reload for 50-70. This is a borrowed rifle for an article I'm doing on the rifles of the Texas Rangers. So I had to go out and get factory ammunition. And it's not cheap. So what I'm shooting is this 10X 500 grain 50-70, and it's nicely made ammo. It's doing a good job for me. You can see it's a pretty fat little cartridge. But this box right here costs $110 for 20. So that's going to last me through testing for the magazine article and getting a few shots over here. So, like I said, you're not going to see a tremendous amount of shooting today. Well, we've got Evil Roy, the bandit boss, lurking downrange. And we've got these big old 50-70 slugs in the McNelly Sharps. So, let's see what we can do to Roy. That rocked him. Alright, the McNelly carbine, besides being available in the awesome 50-70 round, is also available in 45-70. And I think more shooters are probably going to opt for that, particularly guys who already load 45-70 and are set up for it. And either way, it's a good choice. but the 4570 probably will simplify things for you. Well, the McNelly Sharps is not a replica of the 1874 Sharps, which of course a lot of people think it is, and it looks very much like it. One difference is this little hump and spring right behind the firing pin. Because these guns were converted percussion guns, converted to fire the 50-70 cartridge, they retain this piece of the patented Lawrence percussion priming system. And you won't find that on Model 1874 guns, or Model 1874 replicas for that matter. Now, the way this works, if you're familiar with any Sharps rifle, it's a lever action falling block, and the trigger guard is the lever. Pull it down, and it reveals, through this falling block, the chamber. So we then just take a cartridge, load it directly into the chamber, and get it seated, and then close the lever. And it's on half cock now, but pulling it back to full cock makes it ready to shoot. I've got a gallon water jug set up downrange, and we're going to take the Sharps and see if we can make it fly. This will be interesting because these 50-70 cartridges, they are like the poster boy for rainbow trajectories. So the Sharps' lowest sight setting is 100 yards. And it shoots very well at 100 yards, I've got to say. And that's mostly where I've shot it off the bench. I have shot it at 50, and it shoots a foot high at 50. That's how much it's dropping by the time it's out at 100. It's probably still starting to rise at 25, but not going to be that high. So I think I ought to be able to drill this thing with a little Kentucky windage, but I've never shot it at 25 on paper to see exactly where it's heading. So let's see how it does. Alright, a little bit high. Alright, we'll try it again. I did that first shot aiming right at the bottom of the jug, so I'm going to have to aim lower to catch it. So we'll see. Got him. We'll close it up with the bad guy's view of the McNelly carbine.